Tonight on News 5 Live, a comprehensive look at what went wrong with weed gummies being sold to primary school students. Pediatrician Dr. Cecilia Eck, as well as the Ministers of Home Affairs and Education, discusses the frightening incident. The Briceño administration revokes Brad's Bolito and Lotteries license. And another murder in Ladyville. Armando Williams is found dead inside his residence. These stories and more coming up on News 5 Live.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
Corozal to Toledo, Belize is a melting pot of cultures. Travel with us as we take you to a different part of the country each week in a special series called This is Our Belize, People, Food and Culture. Brought to you by the Belize Tourism Board. Starting March 15th, watch the episodes on Wednesdays and Thursdays at 7 p.m. on the National Channel and the Belize Hotel Association Channel, and at 7:30 p.m. on Channel 5, and Fridays on Love TV at 7:30 p.m. Episodes will also premiere on Thursdays on the Belize Tourism Board's Facebook page and YouTube channel. This is Our Belize, People, Food and Culture.
This newscast is brought to you by the Belize Bank Limited. Our country, your bank.
Good evening. Welcome to News 5 Live for Wednesday, April 26. I am Annalyn Apollonia. 31 primary school students and 7 adults were hospitalized on Tuesday in a first-of-its-kind marijuana intoxication outbreak. The incident continues to make headlines as investigations are being carried out by the Belize Police Department, the Ministry of Education, as well as the Ministry of Human Development. What we have been able to gather since the frightening event is that a quantity of cannabis edibles was discarded by an exhibit keeper with the police department. Those food items were disposed of at the Belize City Transfer Station, where persons rummaging through the garbage happened upon the candies. Tonight, News 5 looks at multiple angles of what transpired, including the treatment provided by a pediatrician at the KHMH and interviews with the Ministers of Home Affairs and Education. News 5's Isani Cayetano reports.
The public health crisis that unfolded at St. Luke's Methodist Primary School on Tuesday ended with 31 students being hospitalized at the KHMH. This was after they began experiencing marijuana intoxication from mistakenly consuming cannabis edibles. Among them were 2 children, including a 4-year-old, who were stricken by the effects of the drug.
The 2 that were admitted actually had huge doses that were taken in. One was actually eating it from the day before, felt ill, and stayed at home and then continued to eat yesterday. So ended up being admitted.
A majority of those who were taken in for emergency medical attention were treated and released on the same day. However, both boys were kept overnight for further observation.
The other kid that was admitted, the mom told me this morning, he's the dir in the class because he brought it and he spread it, he shared with everybody. And so not only was he admitted, but all his friends went to A&E with him. But because they were bigger kids and they didn't eat as much, they actually were released yesterday, but he actually had to remain.
Chief Executive Officer Chandra Cancino later confirmed that a total of 31 children and 7 adults were hospitalized on Tuesday after exhibiting symptoms consistent with intoxication. This afternoon, the Minister of Home Affairs explained to the media how the confiscated sweets ended up in the hands of street vendors.
It is an issue that originated, as I understand it, with the Customs Department, who turned over the suspected cannabis, I think, at the point of entry it was classified as suspected cannabis edibles, turned it over to the anti-narcotics unit, who thereafter turned it over to the exhibit keeper. Vision of discarding the product that was confiscated by the customs department. And as I understand it, he is saying to the police that he discarded it because of the scent that it was giving off within the exhibit room. Because as I understand it, he discarded it at the dump on the Western Highway, at which point individuals who were at the dump site found the discarded material and thereafter took it to the children and sold it to the children at the school.
It's an unfortunate incident that speaks directly to an individual decision taken by the exhibit keeper to dispose of the drug-laced food items in that manner, despite the candies being thrown away at the Belize City transfer station. Earlier today, Minister of Education Francis Fonseca also discussed the occurrence.
I think this highlights the need for us to have a more effective policy on school vendors. We tend to have a very lax approach to school vendors. Every school decide, who wants to sell. Some vendors are selling on the campus. The schools say, no, you can't come on the campus, but you can sell outside at the school gates. I think it's important for us to recognize and acknowledge that where those loopholes exist in terms of those school vendors, all of us will have to work together, the schools, Ministry of Education, City Council, and the Ministry of Health, the people who actually certify these food handlers certificates, to see if there are any loopholes there, and if there are, how can we close them and address them.
Back at the Carl Houston Memorial Hospital, the experience inside the accident and emergency unit, according to Dr. Cecilia Eck, was quite bizarre.
When I went into the emergency room, initially there were about 12, 15 kids in varying degrees of, I'll say, stupor. Some were very obtunded, not breathing, or having difficulty breathing. We had some who were agitated. We had some who were trembling. All of them seemed very out of it, or drunk-like. So that was the situation that I went into.
Reporting for News 5, I am Isana Cayetano.
The individual employed by the Belize Police Department as an exhibit keeper is presently in custody as an internal investigation continues. According to Minister of Home Affairs Karim Musa, there were no protocols that were followed in the disposal of the drug-laced candies, and no permission was given to the exhibit keeper to discard the seizure.
The civilian exhibit keeper is currently detained by police pending this investigation, because, as you would imagine, this might not just result in his termination if it is that the investigation leads in that particular direction, that he in fact discarded the edibles, but it can lead also to criminal charges. We can look at possibly negligent harm as a charge that can be imposed. I am extremely, extremely disappointed in the actions of this particular exhibit keeper, because he has been employed with the department for the last 10 years. And so it cannot be that he is not aware of the procedures that should be followed when discarding substances that are held as exhibits. For one, this is an active investigation that was awaiting results from the forensics department. And so it doesn't matter what you were smelling inside your exhibit room, you have no authority to then take it upon yourself without consulting the prosecutor, without consulting the commissioner of police, and then to discard potential evidence in a criminal case. And so that definitely is very concerning. And like I said, that could result in subsequent charges for this officer, because the procedure normally is that you must first consult the head of department, the commander rather, and in this case, the commander of prosecutions is Miss Alifa Elrington.
Tuesday's incident has also brought into sharp focus the need for policies where school vendors are concerned. While the issue had been discussed previously, there were no approved measures in place to vet the street-side sellers. Here's more from the Minister of Education.
The school vendors issue, of course, there have been many discussions about school vendors for years and years and years. Last time around, when I was Minister of Education, I remember us having vigorous discussions about school vendors. And we always felt that it was appropriate for schools to make a proper determination about who they would allow onto their campus. So managements are involved with that, school managements, principals. They know best who are the people who work in their communities and who sell these products in their communities. So that's my point, that there is a general school vendor policy in terms of saying, okay, schools, you determine what's safe, whether you will allow people onto your campus or not. That's a decision for schools to make.
Not lost in what transpired on Tuesday is the responsibility that each vendor has to ensure that the products and food items being sold at school are safe for human consumption. From the police department's perspective, Minister Karim Musa reiterated that the Ministry of Home Affairs is committed to transparency when dealing with the issue of corrupt cops.
You have a special responsibility as a vendor to ensure that the product you're selling to them is safe. So I don't want us to lose that element of it at all. It's a very important question. That element of responsibility that lies with the person selling the product. Just like when we go to any store as adults, we go to any store and we pay our money for a product, we expect that we will get what we're paying for.
I think what you are seeing now, more than anything else over the last 2.5 years, is a transparency that you in the media are perhaps not used to. We have made it abundantly clear from taking over administration that there is a major culture shift within the department that we have to make. Whether it is abuse, whether it is rogue officer, whether it's corruption, whether it's incompetence, we have a very hard line that we have taken, and we have been very transparent with that. And so nobody is a sacred cow. It doesn't matter what your title is or what your rank is. Nobody is a sacred cow. And so if it is that we detect any particular wrongdoing by a police officer, we have been very swift against those officers. And so what you are seeing now is that culture shift, is actually action being taken against rogue officers.
Coming up, Armando Williams is murdered at his Ladyville home. Find out the details when we come back.
Adopting a second child was our best decision ever. Now our daughter Alexis has a little brother to play with.
Now that we have our son, our family is complete.
Contact the Department of Human Services and find out how you can become a foster or adoptive parent and be that heart of gold.
World Intellectual Property Day is observed on April 26th with a variety of events and activities worldwide. This year's theme is Women and IP, Accelerating Innovation and Creativity. We've had more Belizeans coming in, getting their intellectual property registered, and by intellectual property I mean trademarks, patents, industrial designs, and copyright. We have seen a big increase of Belizeans coming in. They understand because they have been infringed upon, because some believe that, you know, I've registered at the company's registry, I own this. No, you don't own the name until you have registered as a trademark. Others would say, oh, I like that name, I'm going to use something similar, or they use something identical, and that's when they run into problems. We've had a few international companies coming after our Belizeans who just decide to copy and use, you know. and they have learned the hard way. Then we have those who just did not protect themselves because maybe they didn't know, and that is why we're trying to make the public more aware of the importance of registering your intellectual property.
A lot goes into the creation of a song, the expense of going into the studio, the expense of preparing for a live stage performance. And so, these are all ways that the artists need to, derive income from their works. BISCAP represents musical creators, so performers, producers, writers of lyrics and music. And our organization ensures that all persons who work to create a song are compensated for their work. We ensure that businesses that publicly perform music, that they pay the license fees, which goes back to the creators. Not only Belizean creators, but all creators who worked on a song. The majority of the Belizean population still do not respect and appreciate the work of the creators. And so we're working to, fix that by sharing information with the public, by having the artists understand their role so that they can also share and encourage people to want to pay for proper use of the music.
Copyright is a form of legal protection. It helps me to have control of how my work is used, reproduced, distributed, and displayed. And then, in other words, it safeguards all my original work. Copyright your work. For students, it's important not to copy other people's work, because you can get punished for that. You can, lose a whole semester or even get kicked out of a program.
It's important to register your company first and foremost, and I'm in the process now of getting a trademark for my company to ensure that no one copies it. As a creator, we spend a lot of time and effort and resources into our projects that are very unique, and the last thing we want is for someone to come and take credit for it or try to profit off of our ideas and our designs. So it's very important that we trademark our businesses.
Because of the money and time and research invested in my company, at an early stage I seek to do my trademark. So I always encourage others to secure, to do their product, to do a trademark on their product.
LIPA is aiming for the Belizean public to become aware so that they know and understand their rights once they have their intellectual property registered, that they are sole owners, and as sole owners, they have the right to use. Nobody can use it without their permission, and if they do, they have a legal right to ask them to stop, or they face the consequences.
It seems like every other day, we hear of a family member or friend being diagnosed with a serious illness such as cancer, heart attack, kidney failure, or stroke. When these illnesses strike, you want to focus on recovery and your overall well-being. At RFNG Life Insurance, we offer critical illness insurance to help with medical expenses when diagnosed with such critical illnesses, providing security to access quality healthcare facilities and to ease the worry about finances. In case you are diagnosed with a life-threatening illness that is covered by the policy, critical illness insurance pays you a lump sum amount to help you obtain access to quality treatment and medication. Having critical illness insurance provides the financial support that will bring you and your family the security and peace of mind necessary to manage these illnesses. The possibility of being diagnosed can be worrying, but by having a critical illness plan, you could have funds to assist with expenses such as medications, hospital deductibles, childcare, household expenses, and so much more. The right time to plan for the unexpected is when you're healthy. For more information, visit our office today to speak with one of our experienced agents about critical illness insurance. Your health and wellness is what matters most. Take care of it.
The Lotteries Committee has taken a decision to revoke the exclusive license held by Brad's Gaming Group Limited to administer the government lotteries. A release from the government of Belize states that the committee decided to revoke the exclusive license held by Brad's due to, quote, material and substantial breaches of the conditions of exclusive license and the Lotteries Act and its regulations, unquote. News 5 has been following the story since the beginning of the year when we caught wind of a letter that had been written to Brad's Gaming Company Limited from the director of the Lotteries Committee. In that letter, the committee raised a number of concerns that had to do with compliance. Now, viewers may recall that the exclusive contract was awarded to Brad's Gaming Group Limited by the Borough Administration back in mid-2020. The exclusive contract carried a 10-year lifespan, which was set to expire in 2030. That is until now, 3 years into the contract, and the Lotteries Committee has taken a decision to cancel this absolute agreement. Earlier this year, the legal representatives for E-Kyash Technologies Limited, a shareholder in Brad's Gaming Group Limited, wrote to Prime Minister John Briceño citing the bilateral investment treaty between Belize and the government of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, since the company is registered in the Cayman Islands, a British overseas territory. The attorneys for E-Kyash put forward that should GOB proceed to cancel the contract with Brad's, it will constitute a wrongful interference with the company's holdings, tantamount to a seizure of its assets. Here is how Prime Minister John Briceño responded to questions on that specific letter back in January.
If you ask Belizeans, they believe that Bolido belongs to them. But there was a contract, and we have to live up to the contract that was signed by the previous government. But in that contract, there are certain commitments that the company did. And we found out afterwards, after a consultation, that they were not living up to all the commitments. We wrote to them last year, and then to the end of this year, we wrote again to them saying, well, we believe that you still have not lived up to the commitments that you made in the contract. And so asking them, giving them an opportunity to respond as to why we should not cancel that contract. I think that now their attorney, I think it's a matter of all ironies that the former Prime Minister is going to be defending something like this, that he knows that Belizeans would want this to be able to, for us to be able to benefit more from that. So he has responded, and now the technical team, the attorneys, are looking at it, and whatever recommendation they might give, then we will look at it as a cabinet and make the final decision.
Ironically, former Prime Minister Dean Barrow, in his private practice as an attorney, is representing both Brad's Gaming Group Limited and E-Kyash Technologies Limited. Late this evening, we spoke with Barrow, who informed us that Kim Chi, the managing director at Brad's, will not be seeking to have the license restored. He informed us that Chi will instead seek a declaration from the court to say that the termination of the contract was wrongful. As a result, Brad's Gaming Group Limited will seek damages for the 7 years remaining on the exclusive agreement. But in the interim, members of the public are being advised that effective May 2nd, Brad's is no longer licensed to sell or administer the government lotteries, that is. The last lottery draw under the present arrangement will be on April 30th. Back in January, speaking on the topic, former Prime Minister Dean Barrow told us in an interview that he is confident the court would support a claim for damages.
We believe that the government will cancel the license via the Lotteries Committee. We believe that they will be entirely wrong to do so. We believe that when we go to court to challenge that revocation, that we will have and we'll be in an excellent position to be able to show that in and of itself the justification offered cannot stand, but that over and above that, you look at the history, you look at the background, you look at what was said, you look at the other action of the government in terms of trying to tax Brad's, the license out of existence, that all that is material upon which we think a court will decide that any revocation is improper and would therefore support a claim for damages.
It will be interesting to see how the Briceño administration proceeds with the nightly Bolido draw, as well as the weekly Sunday lottery draw, and who will be awarded the lucrative contract going forward. Just before midday today, police were called out to the scene of what is believed to be yet another murder in Ladyville. It's the third murder to be recorded in the village in less than a week and is completely unrelated. The victim of this latest homicide is an older man, Armando Williams, better known as Mandy, who was discovered inside his home with injuries to the face. Up to 3 o'clock this afternoon, police were still processing the scene of the crime. A motive has still not been ascertained. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
He's known in the neighborhood as Mandy, but this morning, just before midday, the body of Armando Williams was discovered inside his home on Swallow Street, Ladyville. Williams was found laying face up on his bed with injuries to the face.
This morning, sometime around 11:35 a.m., Ladyville police received an information of a body inside a house. So as a result, they visited this residence on Swallow Street, where they saw the lifeless body of a male person lying in a face-up position in his bed and with what appears to be head injuries. So at this present moment, the scene is being processed and investigation will be carried out to find out what actually transpired.
Is foul play suspected?
Yes, sir.
In terms of a weapon, has that been recovered or anything like that? What was used?
Well, like I mentioned, as we speak, the scene is being processed. So after that, then we will know what, if anything, was found to be or revealed to be the murder weapon, if anything.
Soon after the discovery, Williams' children were informed of his demise and arrived on the scene just before 1 p.m. His son, Martin Williams, who recently turned 26 years old, says that this was their family home.
I grew up here all my life, moved to Belize, right? But like what I said, I don't know who could really do him this stuff here. Hurt him so violent, was a nice person, never troubled nobody, right? I was keep to himself, I was find something good to do, right? I never saw him as a person, right? When I'm small, like, he never treat me rough, you know. I like a prince child, right? And I have a next brother, right? He's working right now, wish he gonna be right now here. He's Armando Williams, his younger son, right? I don't know what to say about this crime that happened at Ladyville, because Ladyville is a village, right? And you never have a lot of crime. From where I was growing up at this house here, you have friends, neighbors, you know, but I'm lost right now.
While there are reports that the deceased may have had a mental health condition, all accounts are that he was a man of good character that had no conflict with anyone. But the investigation is in its preliminary stage, and so the police and the family say that the motive has not been ascertained as yet.
Lan, I don't really think that's the motive, right? But recently, he always have a group of guys that hang here, drug dealers. Well, they come hang, he never tell them to come hang, they just come, and I had to, because I'm a soldier, right? I'm Belize Defense Force, and I chased them out of that yard many times. You're causing problem, bringing stuff at this house, and police come search, you know, all kind of stuff like that at this yard, right? So I don't really know what's the motive behind all of this. Why that happened, why it occurred, it's always why. I have no answer. I just have to wait till the police finish with their crime scene to see what's the motive or what happened or occur.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
After the break, family of 10 picking up the pieces following fire at Pickstock Hutment. We'll tell you about that, but first, here's the weather update with data from the Belize Met Service.
DigiWallet, in partnership with UNICEF, is making financial inclusion a reality. As a selected financial technology provider, DigiWallet leveraged its robust digital platform to disperse a total of $720,000 to 900 vulnerable migrant children and their families. This program is a part of the Cash Plus pilot project, implemented in collaboration with the government of Belize and the Belize Red Cross. DigiWallet and UNICEF's partnership supports the government of Belize's timely response to social and economic shocks using advanced and secure technology.
¿Qué más va a llevar ahorita? Me quedan 97.80 todavía. Guárdelo.
DigiWallet's platform ensured that recipients received their funds instantly at no cost. Beneficiaries were then able to purchase essential goods, pay for their utilities, and do much more with DigiWallet. This innovative approach of digital payment is an important milestone in advancing the social protection system in the country, allowing them to reach the most vulnerable children. We remain committed to working in partnership with key stakeholders to continue financially empowering the Belizean society by offering an accessible, safe, and useful digital platform. DigiWallet and UNICEF, bringing equal access to financial services with the support of the government of the United States of America through the State Department, Bureau of Population, Refugees, and Migration.
My Social Security is your secure online account to manage all your Social Security information. My Social Security launched in March 2021 with registration service to apply online for new or replacement Social Security cards. Upgrades to My Social Security continues with a new look, enhanced customer experience, and its newest feature, Sickness Benefit Online application. With My Social Security, you can create your account, log in, and take control of your Social Security information. This includes applying for a new or replacement Social Security card for yourself, child, or dependent, make appointments online, and submit your complete sickness benefit claim package. Our customer care team is here to provide you, our valued customers, with real-time support. Connect with one of our customer care agents through direct messages on WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or live chat, or follow our YouTube channel for more information. Social Security at your fingertips. My Social Security.
Ain't this what they've been waiting for?
On Friday, April 28th, it's the only BEBL rivalry that truly matters. It's City versus City. Resorts and All Capital Sports Management presents Friday Night Lights. This is our city when your Belize City Defenders, who haven't lost to their arch rivals, the Hurricanes, since 2018, look to continue their domination. The Talladega Tornado and the newly minted member of the 1000 Points Club, Nigel Jones, along with JT Branch, Lorenzo Dillard, Michael Zul, Farron Loriano, and the rest of the Defenders have recovered from their mid-season slip-ups and have reasserted themselves as a force to be reckoned with. The halftime show features the 1-2-3 Vegetable Oil Challenge for $3,000 and a special session from the Caribbean Palace, DJ Puffy, as he primes us up for the official after party at Shisha 8 Lounge. Defenders versus Hurricanes, and sponsored by Moikano Resorts, 123 Vegetable Oil, Honorable Anthony Mahler, Channel 5, Print Inc., The Tavern, Belize City Council, Body 2000, Premier Charters and Tours, Nocturnal, Madisco, Shisha 8 Lounge, Full Memory Photography, Smiling Meats, and Mars Rentals.
We go 0 to 100 real quick.
usuario de E-Kyash, la aplicación E-Kyash está disponible en español. Cambiar el idioma de tu aplicación de E-Kyash de inglés a español es rápido y sencillo. Déjame mostrarte cómo se hace. Primero, abre tu aplicación E-Kyash. Introduce tu PIN. Toca el icono More en la parte inferior de tu pantalla. Selecciona Security. Selecciona Language. Y luego selecciona Spanish. Vuelve a introducir tu PIN y ya está. Tu aplicación de E-Kyash está ahora en español y puedes seguir disfrutando de tu cartera digital E-Kyash. La aplicación E-Kyash de Belize Bank te hace la vida más fácil.
It's good to keep the environment clean. BSWAMA, step up the pace. They're going places to manage your waste. So make we stand and make well sure. No garbage left on the seashore. The whole of Belize we stay clean, cause we know say worth much more. We have pretty environment. So when you see the garbage on the ground, go off me and just bag it on.
Cleanliness has always been second nature to us. So let's work together to keep our surroundings beautiful and healthy.
No garbage in it.
In 2018, I was diagnosed with cervical 4A, stage 4A cancer. First, it was a size of a grapefruit. That's what the doctor told me. The kidney got enlarged. I couldn't do any chemotherapy because of the kidney. So I had to do only radiation. And I did my first session of 25. And then when I finished with the 25 sessions, I went back, she checked it, and she saw 4 centimeters. And I went back for the next 10 days. And after that, when she checked it again, she said, oh, it's like nothing is there. It wasn't painful, but it's a machine that you go under, and they have like a big, like a circular, and that goes 5 times. You will take 5 minutes. 5 minutes to do the radiation, 1 session. Then you go back the next morning, another session. Well, I personally will highly recommend Galenia Hospital because of its good services, friendly staff, the doctors, very caring. Well, I just want to thank them for everything that they have done for me, you know, the staff and the doctor, especially Dr. Jamie, because she was my doctor for the radiation. No?
Taking its name from the venerable father of the nation, the George Price Highway stretches 77 miles from Belize City to Benque Viejo. Originally built in the 1930s, this cross-country highway system is the artery that links Belize to Central America at the western border with Guatemala. That connection facilitates overland trade, supporting Belize's economic development. Winding its way across the scenic countryside, the George Price Highway from Roaring Creek to Esperanza has been fully reconstructed to meet international standards, with particular emphasis on road safety. A shorter and hassle-free commute is best enjoyed when everyone obeys the traffic laws. To reduce the number and frequency of road traffic accidents, it means that a seatbelt must be worn at all times and the speed limit observed when traveling along the highway. It also means that pedestrians must use sidewalks and crosswalks where available. Buses should only board and discharge passengers at a designated bus stop. Road safety is everyone's responsibility. It begins with you.
Just before midday on Monday, a fire broke inside apartment number 7 at the Pickstock Hutment. The fire temporarily displaced a family of 10 that lived inside the 2-bedroom apartment. The 14 by 20 structure was occupied by Kimberly Arnold and her family, who luckily escaped with their lives. Unfortunately, their household items were destroyed either by fire, smoke, or water. A bucket brigade led by neighbors ahead of the National Fire Service arriving to the scene prevented the fire from spreading through the apartment complex. As to reports that the fire was the result of a child playing with a lighter, Arnold refutes that claim. News 5's Dwayne Moody reports.
Today, the scorched concrete walls inside apartment number 7 at the Pickstock Hotment in Belize City were being hosed down with a power washer in an effort for Kimberly Arnold and her family to recover from a fire. 2 days ago, just before midday, a fire broke inside one of the bedrooms to the apartment, destroying everything inside the structure.
We was in the living room area. Well, I was on my lunch break. My sister was on her phone. My brother was cleaning. My sister made the clean the chicken. My brother made it on the phone. We never had the smell, no smoke, nothing. We just hear the neighbor, they holler, they scream out. And so one time my brother cook, we know they hear nothing still, we know they see nothing still because for some reason we know they smell the smoke, nothing. So the young lady that back, she yell, Monica, the house up on fire. Nah. And so we come out, when we come out, because the blaze don't happen already, big blazing in the room. So I will wake up and do my brother, just me go to the bank so he come just grab his social for his bank thing and so get off of the TV stand. Get it off of the TV stand, we run straight outside. I went and we look everything there pan flaming hot fire.
The incident could have spread to other apartments in the building, but fortunately the community came out in support and formed a bucket brigade to douse the fire before the National Fire Service arrived and extinguished the blaze.
Thanks to the neighborhood and Mr. Hewlett called and out the fire. Mr. Hewlett almost get electrocuted and all because whether they thing the fire and the water, he touched one of the live wire there and he looked for get electrocuted. Thanks very much to the neighborhood. If I never see a neighborhood, I think the whole Hotment area, because I'm done with the go upstairs already, if you go to Miss Alice's house already. Bucket, people they get the wash up thing, they wash up pan, anything where they could grab, where they could hold water, they get. Thanks very much to all of them.
Had it been observed in the later stage, we would have had several families being displaced by the fire. Unfortunately, it was observed quickly. The fire was almost partially outed by the neighbors and occupants of the barracks, so the work for us was limited to such.
An official report from the police says that the fire was as a result of a 5-year-old playing with a lighter. Arnold refutes this claim.
We were learned that the building or the fire started as a result of kids left alone and playing with an open flames. Again, this is the second type of fire, and the cause within a 2-week span, so to speak. The first one being in the Hibiscus Street, and now this one in the Pickstock Long Barracks. We cannot overemphasize the importance of adults being more vigilant when it comes to children.
The fire department had said that it was a electronic fire, but the neighborhood bad-minded, because every neighborhood have a bad-minded person. Bad-minded person tell the police, and for some reason, I don't know, the people at the hotel with that, they said that my nephew lights on fire, but that's a lie. Because if my nephew may light the fire, we could have stopped the fire. That only sense.
Arnold says that she is grateful for the support that she has been getting from neighbors, as well as NEMO, the Department of Human Development, and the Belize Police Department, as the family tries to recover.
Now we are having the place power wash, and with God's help, everything will come in. Thanks to the Human Development, they have been working hand in hand with us. Thanks very much to them. Thanks to NEMO. NEMO has already called out to us, and thanks to my job, I have already gone to the City Council. The neighbors that have some leftover stuff, like the neighbors that has a 2-chair, like we got a fan, we got a stove from the neighborhood, the extra were enough for their house. They came out and at least they said we could cook, we could sit down in our licha. NEMO has given us some mattress and stuff like that. It could have maybe tragic, I had to tell you, I had to live it, but man, this serious fire abundant and nothing to play with. I heard about it, but I never did think it may ever happen to me, but everything happened for a reason, and Thank God all of we survive. All of we survive it. None of we not get hurt. None of we not get burned. Nothing.
Dwayne Moody for News 5.
Approximately $750,000 in losses have been reported at Bakab Eco Park after a fire gutted 2 wooden buildings on the compound. After 7 on Monday night, a fire broke out at the property. Surveillance footage retrieved suggests that it was deliberately set by 2 male persons who entered the park on a motorcycle. Today, News 5 got an official report from the National Fire Service. Station Supervisor Kenneth Mortis shares the details.
2 rather large structures made of pimenta and thatch on the Bakabiko Park premises was alighted and destroyed by fire. We gathered that the establishment, which is owned by 59-year-old Mr. Smith, apparently his camera footage recorded 2 individuals within the premises coming from the Hydroline area of the establishment. Both persons came on a motorbike while the driver left the passenger and the driver took off. It wasn't long after before it was observed that the place was on fire. Both persons are in the police custody as we speak, both the driver of the motorbike and the passenger of the motorbike. So for now, the fire department has ruled the investigation as a cause of a malicious act based by the fact that the individual may have set this place on fire and he lit the building on fire coming from the storeroom portion of the property.
Sir, in terms of the firefighting efforts that took place there, I know it was, well, pimenta like you told me, and so it would spread rather quickly.
We had no choice. We lost everything. It was in the night. Of course, vehicular traffic wasn't a factor for us, but the structure of the building, it was just about up in flames, so to speak. Fortunately, on that premises, there was a pool, so we used that pool to draft water to supply, to contain the fire. Again, it could have been worse, but fortunately, the building that was damaged was contained to just those 2 structures. On the flip side now, the massive loss sustained by Mr. Smith is that neither of his establishments were insured. So he suffered a loss of approximately $750,000.
The National Fire Service is also reporting a malicious act that occurred overnight in Orange Walk Town. Firefighters were called out to a structural fire on San Andres and Progress Streets in that northern municipality sometime after 11 p.m. Flames were discovered on the step and under the back door of a wooden and zinc structure. While no major damage was done to the building and the fire was quickly extinguished, an investigation shows that it was an incendiary fire. Station Supervisor Kenneth Mortis says that the suspected accelerant was retrieved from the scene.
Last night, Orange Walk Fire Department responded to a fire in the stage in the vicinity of the Muffles College. That call was made by security personnel, Mr. Elias Melendez. Fortunately, firefighting team arrived on the scene before this fire could have turned out into something more tragic. The building being an L-shaped bungalow wooden type structure, we observed that the fire was at the rear of the building on the steps. We also noticed that perpetrators used some form of accelerant to enhance this fire. The bottle with the suspected accelerant was handed over to scenes of crimes officers on the scene, and they took that for further testing and analysis. On the flip side, we made an attempt to find out the owner of the building, but that was unsuccessful for us at this time. We only can report that we were told that it's a lady who lived there. We don't know if she lived by herself or she has family. When we tried to contact her via the number we were given, that number went unanswered.
So nobody was staying there at the time?
Either nobody was staying there or nobody was home. But as far as we understand, the house had furnishings in it. It's just that the owner of the house was unreachable.
So attempted arson?
Malicious act.
When we return, Westrac Limited partners with Total Energy to provide superior lubricants.
Visit the BWS website to find out your new account number and update your account information, and you get entered into our Mother's Day raffle for a chance to win $1,000. To enter the raffle, visit the BWS website and on the homepage, click the New Account Number tab, enter your meter number, email address, and a contact number. Click Submit, and that's it. Raffle draws on May 10th, 2023. To qualify, all accounts must be up to date with payments. Update your account information for a chance to win with BWS Mother's Day raffle.
Belize Water Services, delivering water and more.
Tour guides, your renewal season is coming up. Please be advised that all tour guide license expires on July 31st, 2023. BTB will start accepting applications for renewal starting May 1st, 2023. Tour guides, we're asking you to apply early in order to have a new and valid license before the current one expires. To submit via email, you'll need a clear scan of each document in PDF format and properly named and labeled. Send your application with all supporting documents to tourguide@belizetourismboard.org and include your full name and your tour guide license number in the subject line of the email. Remember to fill out your applications correctly, as BTB will no longer be accepting incomplete applications. Contact our licensing officers at 227-2420 and press 1 if you have any questions or concerns.
Many of us dream endlessly about our futures. A beautiful husband or wife, a couple of perfect kids, and a good job with good pay. Often we dream the dream, but when it comes time, we aren't prepared to do the hard work. Join us for our new series, Bride and Gloom, as we unpack the highs and woes of dating and marriage. Get ready to put your relationship first and make your dream a reality.
Smart introduces Real Unlimited Postpaid Plans, providing customers with unlimited talk, unlimited text, and unlimited data. Now that's a real great deal. With Smart Plus, Share 1 and 2, and Enterprise 1 and 2 plans, you can talk as much as you want, text as much as you want, and for the first time ever in Belize, you can enjoy unlimited data with your postpaid plan. So come in and sign up for an unlimited postpaid plan and enjoy limitless possibilities. In addition, other plans such as the Flex Junior, Choice, and Select have been boosted with a lot more talk, text, and data, providing you with the best value for your budget. Be unlimited with Smart. It's time to power your dollar with Smart.
We have brought you coverage of the Ministry of Agriculture's Junior Farmer of the Year and Woman Farmer of the Year. Earlier today, we traveled to Belmopan and Rockstone Pond to meet the Senior Farmer of the Year, Andrew Bartley. The work he does on the Kingdom Orchard Farm is a collaborative effort between his wife, Monique Bartley, his 3 children, and his community. Bartley is preparing to be recognized at this weekend's National Agriculture and Trade Show, along with the Junior and Woman Farmer of the Year. Ahead of that event, News 5's Paul Lopez ventured out to learn more about Bartley's work.
Meet Adrian Bartley, the 2023 Senior Farmer of the Year. Bartley owns and manages the Kingdom Orchard Farm, 14 acres of farmland in Rockstone Pond in Belize Rural North.
Currently, we have local chickens. We have a small piggery operation going. I recently finished crops. We harvested about 2,500 heads of cabbage. We had about 1,000 tomato trees and 1,000 bell peppers, zucchini. We have coconuts that we planted about 3 years ago. We have tons of cassava, blugger plantains, and I know that there's more in there. Yeah, kale, lettuce, and something else.
The Rockstone Pond community is located more than 70 miles from Belmopan, where Adrian, his wife Monique Bartley, and their 3 children reside. Today, Monique spent the morning preparing 50 plates of food for her school feeding program in Belmopan. She does this every Monday and Wednesday using produce from the farm.
It's a lengthy process. Yeah. We have to travel from Rockstone Pan to Belmopan, which is about 80 miles. And if I don't have a vehicle, then I have to catch the bus. And so I bring the raw materials, bring it here, prepare it with the help of my daughters. And if Adrian is here, then he helps. If not, then I'm all alone. And then I get the process rolling early in the morning, start with the preparation. And then about 10 o'clock, 10:30, I done cook and done plate, waiting for the teachers to come and pick it up, and so we could go and do what we have to do now.
Back at the farm, Adrian has prepared hundreds of watermelons, bell peppers, cabbage, lettuce, and kale seedlings that will eventually go into the ground. With advice from the Ministry of Agriculture, he is about to engage in a practice known as crop rotation.
The wonderful thing about that is you don't want to tax the soil too much, because if you plant one thing over and over again, it will take the same nutrient from the soil, and then the soil become imbalanced, and then you have a small little case of desertification. No? So we want to make sure that we have longevity, and use the best farming practices possible.
Now, a part of that longevity is also the irrigation system. Tell me a bit about your irrigation system, the setup, and what you've had to do.
Yes, as I shared with you, we started out here about 3 years ago. And at first it was all nice. We planted about 5 acres of corn, and that was wonderful. And then, we did watermelon and we did some other things. And then in 2021, there was a short drought. And at that time, we had about 5 or 6 acres of corn planted and about 2 acres of watermelons. And everything went dry, and we lost everything. With help of friends, we got our resources together. I hired out a service, and we got a well drilled to about 27 feet deep. This is the first dry season where we're testing the well. Thank God that the water table is holding up.
At 11:30 a.m., 2 teachers from Garden City Primary School arrived at Bartley's home to pick up and deliver the food she prepared for students already on lunch break. This work in the kitchen is a labor of love for Monique. She receives nothing from the school in return, except for the 15 minutes she gets to sit down with the children to share her faith. It's a lot of investment for you. You're not making any returns on this. What's your thought on that?
Well, you see, if you look on it on that standpoint, then you will say it doesn't make any sense. But then if you know what it feels like to be hungry at school, then it's a different perspective.
And you know what it's like?
Yes. I'm the second of 9, so yes. I grew up in Cesar Ridge area, and like I said, I'm the second of, well, at that time my mom had 7 or 8 of us, and we used to have a church right on the corner, and they used to have soup kitchen, and we would go every Saturday religiously to get our meal. Yeah, and so my mom would help in any way that she could, and whenever she would have a surplus, then she would share to the community. So that's where I get that from.
I make sure that on Mondays and Wednesdays, when the Bartleys would feed 50 children, I am here to assist with getting the food, make sure that the children are sectioned. I have the names there. And even though it's more than 50 sometimes, we try to give everybody. We have students here that don't go home for lunch. They would come to school and they would be here all day. And they used to bring their lunch. Some students don't even bring a lunch. And Mr. Hall, the principal, he would always be providing something. Sometimes we have the cafeteria giving food to children that don't have lunch. So you would see them waiting at that gate when we're trafficking with the lunch. Oh, they wait for the lunch. They're coming to help bring the boxes and stuff like that. So it's a very big help.
Adrian and Monique Bartley found themselves at a crossroad at the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Adrian was working in the tourism industry, and due to multiple constraints, they were unable to sustain the feeding program. With a machete and a passion for feeding the less fortunate, Bartley began clearing family land in Rockstone Pond. 3 years later, he is a full-time farmer, and the feeding program continues to supply necessary nutrition to children in Belmopan.
Our long-term goal is to be able to provide emergency food for families in need. And then, because I haven't forgotten those days where the bell rang and you would go and wait in the bathroom until it rings again, you wash your face and you come out smiling, not knowing that, you know, you're hungry. Many kids go through that, and we want to be able to help in that way. We were quiet about it because many people abuse the name of Jesus, and they abuse that word charity, and we didn't want to be seen as one of those. They said, don't let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. But I think that the vision is so large that it is not for one man. I think Belize has the answer for Belize's problem, and we're using the farm as a solution to the problem of food scarcity and hunger. And I want to invite the entire nation to be a brother's keeper. Contact us. You could contact me at 635-9675 and see how we could partner. We want to start an apprenticeship program for young men in Belize City, and eventually young women as well, to come out here for 3 months at a time.
Reporting for News 5, I am Paul Lopez.
Motorists and people in engineering maintenance will be happy to learn that there's a whole new line of lubricants and oils on the Belize market that are environmentally friendly and last longer than the others on the shelves. Westrac has partnered with Total Energies, a French lubricant, biofuels, and green gases company, with a plant in Guatemala that processes crude oil and sells the byproducts across the world. Together, they have teamed up to offer an array of those products at all of Westrac's outlets, as well as supermarkets across the country. News 5's Marian Ali visited Westrac to find out what the new line of oils offer. Here's her reports.
A superior brand of petroleum byproducts that cater to keeping engines and machinery in top form is now available in Belize. Westrac Limited, Belize's largest automotive aftermarket parts distributor, has partnered with Total Energies of France, a company that specializes in petroleum-based byproducts, to provide its line of lubricants and oils in Belize. Total Energy, not to be confused with a brand of tools that goes by the name Total, produces high-quality engine oils that are tailored to keep any machine functioning.
We are among the 5 top lubricant marketeers in the world, so that places us in a very special place. And if I would say that we are competing with the big brands in the world, we have a strong research and development culture. We have over 130 people in 43 different sites developing products and for special needs, not just a one-size-fits-all solution, but we are more going into the tailor-made solutions that the original equipment manufacturers are trying to get from a top tier and top performer oil company.
The products that will be offered in Belize are a range of oils and lubricants that anyone in any field of work, from farming to refrigeration, aviation and printing, will need to keep their engines and machines running. Total Energies marketing and sales representative is Sergio Castaneda.
We have over 2,000 products in line that will cover anything from a small automotive application up to a big industrial application like sugar mills, cement mills, and paper mills, and even the lubricants that go inside those big transatlantic ships that you have crossing the oceans. We serve over 1,000 ships in the world as of now.
At comparative prices, Westrac's director, Glenn Cornelson, said the decision to offer Total Energies products was really a no-brainer.
We have always looked at trying to satisfy the whole segments of Belize, and we've had long-lasting brands that are in the company already for a long time, but we looked for a brand that could supply in every segment that we have in Belize. So Total Energies is a company that has a lot of research and development capacities. So they have over 20,000 SKUs. So
SKUs meaning?
Different blends and sizes. So we have a capacity to supply everybody any type of oil they're in need of.
Cornelson advises anyone with any type of engine or machinery to stock up on the engine oils and lubricants they need to keep either that car or tractor running or that refrigerator cool.
If somebody has a specific, for instance, VW would be one that has a specific blend that it needs, we're planning on having that in stock. These guys also have, when we convert sometimes into LP gas or vehicles because of the prices of fuel, they have specific blends that are designed for that type of gas. They're harsher on oils than regular gasoline. So that is something that not every company has to offer, and Total does have that. We would have heavy duty, light duty, agriculture, industrial, factories, food processing, even for fabric. Everything that you can think of that you need, Total can offer it.
And in case your engine or piece of equipment requires a specific blend of oil, it can be sourced within a 3-month period, considering time for shipping from France. If it is a byproduct that you'll need to purchase again, well, that headache is also solved at Westrac without another long wait.
Once we know the demand, it's not a problem to stock and keep it rolling and not just only order on demand. The price is compatible. It's pretty competitive. We cannot be the cheapest when it's a company that has so much research behind everything, but it is a very good price for the amount of quality you're getting out of it.
Total Energies is a company that was established 100 years ago and sells its products in more than 130 countries. It is well known for its efforts at making byproducts that are environmentally friendly.
We are working hard to have a net zero carbon emission that makes our operations to be more efficient. We are a energy provider also in a couple of countries, and we have presence over 160 countries around the world with gas stations, hydrogen stations, electric vehicle recharging stations, fuels, lubricants. So we have a very broad array of products and services.
Total Energies petroleum byproducts are available at Westrac outlets as well as select supermarkets across the country. Reporting for News 5, I'm Marian Ali.
Up next, Jasmine Hartin says her decision to plead guilty was ruled by emotion and made in haste.
got a lot less complicated with Belize Bank contactless MasterCard debit card. Introducing our standard debit and MasterCard Platinum debit cards. Now you can make purchases anywhere MasterCard is accepted with one tap, pay and go. Your contactless card never has to leave your hands, especially in these times. And your card is embedded with multiple layers of security. Platinum card holders get to enjoy extra benefits like price protection, purchase protection, trip inconvenience, and luggage protection, just to name a few. Start enjoying a cashless lifestyle today with the Belize Bank.
Sign up for Smart Share Plan and save big. Whether you're a small entrepreneur starting up your business, a student on a limited budget, or a family trying to save, this is the plan for you. With unlimited SMS, calls, and data, we help you save. Get up to 5 lines for as low as $30 per line monthly, only with Smart. Sign up today at any Smart showroom or sales manager countrywide. So get your business going, share more memories with friends, and be ready for the day with Smart.
Jasmine Hartin, who pleaded guilty to manslaughter by negligence on Tuesday for the shooting death of senior police officer Henry Jamot, says her decision was made in haste. In a press release issued today, Hartin said that the day of her case was fraught with emotion and uncertainty that resulted in her decision to plead guilty. Hartin states that the decision was made without the expected time to consult with her Canadian senior counsel. In the end, however, she said that the decision was the best possible outcome for all parties concerned. The press release, written by Hartin's publicist, states in part, quote, "After a long and painful battle, at times dealing with politics, power, and corruption at its core, it is, of course, a great relief to finally put an end to this heartbreaking and tragic accident involving one of her dearest friends," unquote. Today was observed as World Intellectual Property Day globally with the theme Women and IP, Accelerating Innovation and Creativity. The expressed focus this year on women is because they make up nearly half of the global population and they represent a large percentage of people in business. Today, the Belize Intellectual Property Office held a mini fair at the Belmopan Civic Center with some of the women who earn a living using their own patents or brands. As Belaipo's Senior Assistant Registrar Adelita Ake shared, the event is to teach women how to protect their particular brand.
They're showcasing their products, and we also told them about the importance and the benefits of registering their trademark. We do have some that have already registered their trademarks. Well, for trademarks, their benefit is for the legal right to the use of the mark, wherein they can, once they have their mark registered, they have the legal right to sue anyone who uses their mark or who has a similar mark without their permission. So if they see someone that is using that mark without their permission, they can take them to court. Some have the cosmetics, jewelry. Some have bags, pottery. They do painting. They paint the potteries that they make. We also have paintings, which you can see inside as well. We also have just products, that they bring in.
Shandy Casey represented Janari Jewelry, a company owned by her sister that makes gold jewelry that is bonded in the center with brass and plated with gold. She says that it's a popular type of jewelry that Belizeans like, particularly because they cost half the price of full gold jewelry. For that reason, protecting the patent is important.
My sister is the owner. She's the one that does all the jewelry. It's a name that she has always liked ever since growing up, so she just decided to name her business Janari.
Tell us about the jewelry.
It's made from 14 karat gold filled, which is different from gold plated because gold plated, the gold is on the outside. Filled, the base is brass and they pressure bond the gold on top of the brass. So the fill is on the inside. It's not 100% gold, it's just 50% gold. So it's like a cheaper alternative to real gold and it lasts just as long as real gold.
And the color doesn't change
because it does not change.
And that's the news. Tonight's broadcast is available at channel5belize.com, on our Facebook and on YouTube. I'm Adeline Apollonia. Thanks for joining us, and from all of us here at News 5, good night.